Tack, Paulus. Good day, beloved.
Good day.
Today is the most wonderful day, and today we will re-establish the divine order of love, peace and understanding. Together, me, Ditta of Godland, and
me, Leif of Godland.
And Godland, that is the time and the place that is now on this earth. It is the land of Indigenous world order. It has always been here, and we are here to see to it that it will always remain here, protecting all living systems on our Mother Earth. And today is 10th of June 2017, and we are in Jordbro in Sweden, in the very old, ancient, divine cult place of our predecessors who have lived here for tens of thousands of years. And in this Jordbro they have been holding rituals of peace, love and understanding on the very shore of Baltic Sea. And we do re-establish these rituals to protect the people who live in the Baltic Sea region and the whole world and the whole universe. This is Jordbro, the center of Godland, and we are the Diarchs of it. We are the loving hearts, the living people who do take responsibility to re-establish Indigenous world order and to protect everybody in its realm from any type of system that could hurt them. And such quite big responsibility and work we have taken on us because we live in a times of war. Times of war where the leaders of the war systems are not even visible. They are hidden. And to challenge them, we put ourselves as the visible diarchs for them to approach us and try to claim otherwise. As long as they don't, then we will rule and put the loving order into place and dismantle everything that doesn't fit into it. So, who are we? Who are we, Ditta and Leif? I will tell you to start with that I am Ditta Rietuma, and I have predecessors both from Latvia and Sweden, and I have grown up in Latvia in the very old and ancient languages of Baltic tribes, which are some of the very oldest languages on earth. And we have preserved there the divine cultures of indigenous people, sacred, as have the Finns done in Finland, where there is hell and Bocksaga you can find a video about. And here in Sweden we have these fabulous, wise people who have been researching the systems that have colonized our beloved Mother Earth. And that is how I met Leif Erlingsson. And to start with, I proclaimed Godland myself, as in the situation of crisis and occupation, I took responsibility, as I had been also to United Nations, and already 2010, on the 22nd of September, I proclaimed myself there as heart of the world, who will be loving people and finding the systemic solution that will give us the system that we all are worth. And as we do live right now in total occupation, systemic occupation, then I took the step to proclaim Godland already as a lonely monarch. But then I understood that through our culture, that is well described in Bocksaga videos that you should see, we need to be Diarchs, because that is our cultural heritage. And our divine gods are also both males and females. And we represent the reality best when we are the perfect couple as the rulers and Diarchs. And the only person I saw who could bear the weight and responsibility of the task has been Leif. And he's the only person I have asked to bear the crown. And we are so lucky that he has been powerful to respond in a positive manner.
I am Leif Erlingsson, and I am born in southern Sweden. My ancestry is from both northern Sweden, from Norway, from Denmark, and probably all over Scandinavia when you go far back in family research. And I have also tried to understand now for many, many years this war economical system and what is the basis for it, what they claim, how they can claim their rights and so forth. And I don't know if it's need to go in any deeper than that. What do you think?
Yeah, the main question is there, who owns this system? Who runs it?
Yes.
How do you think?
There are many ideas, but since the system builds on foundations with hidden writings that are hidden from the world, we can't for sure know what is already hidden from us.
But they all pretend as would have been giving them consent to this system, when they give us our birth certificates.
Yes.
And they give the rules of the frame where we live, they pretend that we have given them consent to this. But that is a lie, and this is uninformed consent that is criminal. We haven't had a choice.
They assume, it's assumed that we don't have a choice. But if we challenge this, then they can't assume that we agree.
Yeah. So we will give you fair rights. We will give you real choices. We will give you courts that will love you. This is the new era of love. And we will act like loving parents of each one of you. Whatever race and ethnogenetical background you come from, we will love you. We will cherish you. That's what we are good at. And you can count on us. And what do you think about all the religions?
All religions build on foundations of truth and use different words, and on the surface different words and different concepts, and those different words and different concepts make people believe that they believe differently, and that causes much grief. But below it all, it's one single foundation.
That's right. Everybody wants to be loved and wants to be expression of a loving higher force. And those who don't want that, those are in the realm of the dark force, or often called Satanism. And that is something that has to be cured. Those people cannot be in power. Because the churches that proclaim that Satan rules the world, and by that support the cult of death, have to be decentralized, and they have no right to exist as structures that are murdering masses. And this will happen through indigenous decentralization process. But this process will be done through local indigenous people. And you are the very crucial person who has to take responsibility and create the new time. Furthermore, you have to run your own courts, indigenous people's courts, where you have your own juries that decide what reality you want to have. In common law, that's how they got rid of apartheid in South Africa.
Yes.
And that has to be done in the whole planet now, because we have to take back our planet from the hidden groups, which we don't know who they are really. They blame Rothschild, they blame Rockefellers and other very nice people if you look at them. They are such cuties if you start looking at their private sort of persons. And then they blame at Zionists, and that is fabulous Jewish nation. I have so many friends of those, so I don't believe the Jews are to be responsible like that. We just have to learn to love each other. So all these people have the right to do their business only if they love the people.
Yes.
that will be checked now, systemically. We will provide law and structures that will see to it that only the loving paradigms will be systemically functioning in the areas where you proclaim Godland and us as the rulers. Furthermore, we don't abolish the current states, not at all. The current states we support. We just help the current structures of the states to become stronger and to give indigenous people their rights, as Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous on the Rights of Indigenous People proclaimed 2007 has established. So you just have to stick to current international law that we have approved. And Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People is approved by us. And we start there. And victims of this death cult that it has occupied our Mother Earth are counted in billions of mass murdered and unborn children. And we have hard work to do to redesign it. But we're ready to do it. And we have really already the law systemic foundation of texts. There are many already proclaimed, and you can find them on LoveOrder.INFO. And we have also our own money that is called tally stick, that was already in place before the central bankers took over the planet and fooled most of people. So this is how you can create tally sticks yourself, and it is called World Indigenous Runes. World Indigenous Runes. More on that will come later. But you, everybody who comes into our Godland, have the right to have indigenous salary, or to indigenous loyals salary. That will be and this salary will end the era of slavery, as you will have an income that gives you free choice will work. So you won't have to apply to work in slave labor camps of occupying forces. You will be able to create your own companies that suit your visions of reality, that suit the needs of your own families and children, your own next generation. You will be able to work within your family's tribes, communities, establishing your visions, serving the people you love, instead of serving the death cult structures who have had financial resources before this. Could you tell us some more about what you have discovered as you did this fabulous work about high crimes that have happened?
I have been digging since 2002 or 3 into why the world goes into meaningless wars. And high crimes that Ditta of Godland mentioned is one work I've been involved with, where we documented the war crimes being done towards the Libyan the nation. And in that we tried to get the current legal structures to investigate the war crimes. They did all kinds of legal things not to have to deal with it, including that they demanded that we ourselves must have been harmed by it to be in a position to drive this. They didn't want to deal with the war crimes.
They wouldn't take the blame of being responsible for them, but you did put them into the bench of responsible for the war crimes. You did actually name the whole government of Sweden to being involved.
We named those in the government, the whole government, and high militaries that were involved directly, and we named those members of parliament who had voted at least twice of 3. They voted at 3 different occasions, and those who only voted 1, we didn't name those. But those who voted 2 or 3 times, those
are responsible.
Those are responsible
for the crime of mass murdering Libyans and abolishing their very stable and wealth-providing government and state. That's right. That's a fabulous piece. That is a fabulous example of what you can do with law, but that they don't take responsibility and they hide and they don't answer for the crimes they have done.
No.
They lie to us and they keep on murdering nations, and a nation that has been mass murdered here in Baltic Sea region is my Latvian origin people that have been mass murdered by banking cartel who has taken over Central Bank in Latvia already in 1992, and almost 1 million people have left a 2.5 million nation because it's impossible to live there.
I was involved in the process where some 700 Swedes reported charges for war crimes committed in Libya, charges towards members of the Swedish parliament, the government, and high military commanders.
Where did they report that?
It was reported to the International Prosecution Chamber in Stockholm. And it was a process of something like half a year. It's documented, the whole process. They did everything they could not to have to deal with this, but they had to deal with our appeals, and several different bodies were involved in this process, and it ended with if we had ourselves been hurt by war crimes, we could have pushed it on. But since
only if you were a factious physical victim.
Yes.
That's what they said, yeah?
Yes. So they refused to deal with the documented war crimes that we had presented.
Against Libyan people.
The war crimes of the coalition against the Libyan people, and since Sweden...
That Sweden has granted to do.
Yes, Sweden
supported by taxpayer money.
Yes, with taxpayer money and with weapons and with people.
And make business there, yeah.
And sold a lot of weapons.
Yeah. And this is the very core of the trouble, that there are people who make money on the war machine, and they don't get punished for mass murdering. Yeah.
There is no court that deals with this.
For this business. That is mass murder business. They just make money. And that has to stop. That has to stop. And generally we are here to solve the problem of nuclear war system as well. And we have been holding Indigenous courts for several years now that have criminalized nuclear war systems, both in English, in Swedish, in Russian, and in Latvian. We have been holding them. And you can find this information on Baltic Sea Region RadioactivityWatch.org webpage, which is bsrrw.org. And
the nuclear war system, could you just very briefly, for those who come in contact with this the first time?
Nuclear war systems, it is the whole matrix of the current systems that involve, just to name some of them, the education systems, the financial systems, the technical systems, the resource systems, and in a very simple manner they are social and physical systems, physical-technical systems, and all of them are criminalized if they support nuclear war.
And very briefly, how do they support nuclear war?
It all in the end ends up into the people who finance wars and who finance nuclear weapons. And we are criminalizing the corporations, not those very people responsible, but their corporations we just shut down. So we love even those people who create war. We will give even them, even you, a loving solution. You will not be punished as a physical person, and your family will have decent life. And you too will have rehabilitation, indigenous salary, but you will not be running the global show, the global systems anymore. We will give you vacation, won't we?
Yes.
So you can enjoy life lovingly, not as a murderer. You will be free from your mass murder work. We will see to it. And
I started to really try to understand how does the legal system work, and I found out that those that criticized this, in some little way they were right. Because the members of parliament, while they are members of parliament, they can't be touched with what they do as members of parliament.
they have this immunity.
They have immunity in this system. So if it's a legal system that gives someone immunity, that's not a real lawful system, because no one can have immunity for crime.
That's right. And this is what we will change. In our system, when people are elected, then they will be employed by societies, by electorates, not by corporations like it is now. And there will be no immunity. They will have to be responsible, and they will be brought out of their work if they don't properly represent the electorate. But mainly what the trick they do now is that it is foreign corporations who employ the people who are elected, and by that they steal our deputies to work for foreign corporations with their tasks and their fake money. No more. We will have our wares, we will pay our deputies with our wares, and if they don't do as we people like, they will be out of the job, and we'll put new ones who are reliable.
Yes.
And so tell more. What was this? What more did you send to International Prosecution Chamber?
Yeah, just recently, the 6th of June, they got just on the 6th of June they got and this was sent to the Malmö, Gothenburg and Stockholm department of the International Prosecution Chamber, and signed by many more people.
Thousands of people signed it, yeah.
Online by maybe more than 3,000 now. Last time I checked it was almost 3,000. But I know that what those prosecution chambers received, they had 30 signs already there.
And what was it?
It was they were charged to, or asked to investigate
Genocide.
Genocide, yes, genocide against the Swedish population. And I really liked the way the last paragraph, because it brought up this principle that whoever got this in their hands and didn't act on it became part of the crime.
That's right. And if these judges as they call themselves, that are in the International Prosecution Chamber, don't act, then they are...
Well, they are not judges, they are prosecutors.
Okay.
But what the prosecutor should do is to put it into a court.
Yeah. So these prosecutors will be then responsible for the crimes if they don't do that.
Yes.
That's what the letter said. And this is through the legal system that how we have been trying to work. But as we know, they just neglect these fabulous legal documents and pretend as they can't do anything about it. And probably so, because they are not our elected prosecutors.
No.
And they are not our elected judges.
No.
And these are not our societies.
No.
They are, by definition, foreign. Or the whole court system, Regeringskansliet, that is a Swedish Justice Department office, is on upik.de and Johnson Bradstreet registered as a foreign company.
Yes.
So this is a scheme that we stop now. We will be going through, and all of these on Upik and Bradstreet registered companies that pretend to be state structures will have to restructure themselves so that they are reliable towards indigenous people and citizens of their lands.
Yes. Yes.
So this is a beautiful day when we take this responsibility, and we will succeed if you put an effort and make it happen, because it's you, beloved, who has to get engaged. So you just have to stop going to the slave camp and to do your work in the wrong area. You rather go and take social security and do the right task. Because in Scandinavia you can take social security still. You will have something to eat, and you don't have to work for the occupying forces. That is the right thing to do. And on our choice, the whole world depends. Because here in Sweden they do have the military companies that create bombs, that bomb people all over the world, and weapons, that fire and murder people all over the world. And you don't have to work in these economical systems and corporations that provide that. That is clear. So we have to create these societies that will employ the deputies and create the right type of laws. And we need to free Swedish monarchy too, because poor monarch, he can't even create one crown. And that's not right. We want everybody to be able to create a means for their person, for their family, for the societies that they are responsible of and that work well. So this is a new era that we start here, me and Leif. And we are the faces that are real. We are the hearts that love you, and we will make it happen together. And I am so grateful that you have accepted the role of the Diarch of Godland. And today I will proceed with the ceremony of crowning you, because you have the head that will bear the crown. And that may symbolize personification of responsible and loving and wise rulers and new era of love, peace and understanding. May it be so. May this crown be blessed with all the love of the universe inhabitants who will be protected by us. And may all the gods of these inhabitants of the universe help this crown to free the living and may the next generations be strong, wise, healthy, loving, and may it be through this crown that you, Leif of Godland, hereby are worthy to bear. So here is Leif of Godland, the Khan of Godland, and I, Ditta of Godland, present this diarchy, and may the gods be with us and help us in our work.
Yes.
Let it be so. Thank you. And now we will go to the forests of Juru, and I will dance for the world, for the gods. And I will try to convince the gods that this world is still beautiful. And we will forgive the sins of the people who have corrupted it. And we will give everybody a fair chance, real resources, and the new times, the divine Indigenous world order starts now.